when I was pregnant with Jacob, I was super into taking care of myself. I believe at that time you were supposed to eat lots of peanut butter or not eat peanut butter. I can't remember, but I did whatever they said you were supposed to do at the time. I think they've kind of changed it and said it doesn't matter anymore. Also, you weren't supposed to like accidentally do anything with cats or cat litter, and we always had straight cats on Text Drive. So I would always make sure that I wore shoes outside, so that way I didn't accidentally step in cat feces or cat pee pee, because we didn't have any cats at the time. But I just wanted to be super careful, and I always had the habit of not wearing shoes outside. I always used to like to go around barefoot. So I did that during my pregnancies. Also, supposedly they weren't sure if microwaves had anything to do with, the baby's fetal development. So I made sure that I always, so when I put something in the microwave, I like went around the corner or stood like behind the wall or something, so that way the radiation wouldn't get to me, just in case. Anything that they said that might be harmful, I just stayed away from. I stayed away from your dad when he would smoke a few cigarettes, or Uncle Edward, um, just all that. I listened to um, classical music because it was supposed to make the babies smarter for 10 minutes a day, even though I really didn't like it at the beginning. But by baby number three, Michaela, I was used to it and I kind of enjoyed it. And I would read to the baby. I think I even had your dad read in Spanish to y'all inside me. So all that kind of stuff. And then when baby number two and three, Vanessa and Michaela, were born, I had the oldest baby bring, no, the baby number Michaela and Vanessa brought their older siblings a present, right? Because I read somewhere that that was like really good, so that way the older siblings wouldn't be like jealous and stuff of the younger one. So they would bring them a present, right, which was a toy. Be like, ah, look, this newborn baby brought you. But Jacob and Vanessa, they were the best older siblings ever, and I never had a problem with jealousy. The only thing was that it was kind of hard for Jacob. He couldn't understand why I couldn't pick him up after I had just had Vanessa, because I didn't have a cesarean with any of y'all. So you're not supposed to like lift heavy things, even though babies aren't heavy. But when you just have a baby, that's considered heavy. So Jacob, I remember, oh, it broke my heart. He was crying with his hands at mommy, because he wanted me to pick him up. But I just had Vanessa. We were living in my parents' house, and I gave in. I picked him up, and my mom saw me and got all mad at me. She was like, "Te va a caer la matriz." And she didn't speak to me in English, in Spanish very often. She was fluent in both. And she told me in Spanish that, and I was like, oh, she mad at me. So, anyways, that's that. And then the day that we signed the papers to move into the house on Amtex Drive was actually the day that I had Vanessa. But that was just a signing that we were approved for a mortgage. So then once we had Vanessa, we actually went around, now that we had like a mortgage, like somebody was going to give us a mortgage up to a certain amount, we could actually go around and look for houses. And no, some people don't do that. They'll look for a house before they get a mortgage. It's just kind of a preference. It's better to have a mortgage before that, though, because the two don't usually go hand in hand. Um, so then we found a house, and then once we actually bought it and stuff, was around July 4th. I can't really remember. I think by July 4th, we were already in our new house because they were popping fireworks, I think, in our new house. And before that, I had Jacob on a schedule. He would usually go to bed. He'd be asleep by 9 o'clock. But he got off schedule when we moved into that new house, and we had to sleep by the door because he kept wanting to go home, and he'd be like, home, home, home. saying that he wanted to go home, which to him was grandpa and grandma's house, right? And I remember that me and your dad, all three of us, we slept by the door because that's the only place that he would be kind of calm thinking. I don't know what he was thinking, but it was kind of hard. And after that, there was no schedule for y'all's sleep. And then Michaela, I mean, when Michaela came, there was even more of less of a schedule. So it was kind of chaotic. We never had y'all on a sleep schedule. And then I was working shift work, and sometimes I'd work 2p to 10p or 6a to 2p, or sometimes I'd work the overnight shift. So it was always crazy. And sometimes I would call, when I would be working overnight shift for quite a while. I started doing that. I took over somebody on vacation, and then I ended up kind of staying on that shift. Then it was crazy. I would call your dad like at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Y'all would be up watching videos and listening to, you know, Duranguense music and stuff. But that was just our life, right? We had to do what we had to do to survive. I had a really good paying job, and your dad would do some little extra jobs and stuff, and we would provide for y'all. And during that time, after Michaela was born, during her first 2 years, I was working full time, helping my dad with my mom. And Jacob, started school, and he was tough.